Come with me while I ship a wreath. I'll show you how I do it. The first thing I do is quality control, and that includes the tug test, which is pulling on every piece to be sure that it's secure within the wreath. And after that, I'm going to begin to stuff the bows. You can stuff them with air pillows as I'm doing here, or you can use tissue paper, whatever your choice is. I'm doing it this way because I have air pillows that are losing air and I want to use them up. After that, I prepare the box. I have to tape the bottom and the sides. As you know, they come flat, so you have to shape them. I use a multi-depth box, and that is the 24 by 24 by 12. I'm going to mark the top so I'll know what the top is and where I need to put the label, and I'll put the wreath in there just so because I want the buyer to see it like it is to be placed on their door when it comes out of the box. Next thing I do is to prepare for securing the wreath, and I make holes in the box where I'm going to place the wreath and wrap pipe cleaners or zip ties around the wreath wire, the base of the frame, to secure it. Now first I use an ice pick to make the holes, and because that's really not large enough for things to go through, I use what they call an awl, A-W-L, that makes the holes bigger. And after that, I'm going to put the pipe cleaners threaded through those holes to secure the top of the wreath, and then I'll do the same with the bottom pipe cleaner to secure the bottom wireframe of the wreath. That way we can ensure that it goes nowhere in shipping. Okay, here on the back, if you can't get that through, I use something called a Wreath. It's a little plastic needle. You can get these from the crafty tech guy John at his website. They're so useful for doing things like this, and also for putting things through a grapevine. So now I've got that placed. I can place my wreath in there and then begin to secure it to the box so that it is going to be very safe in shipping. So here's the wreath. I've secured it, and it's not going anywhere. I've seen that it's very stable. I've added little tags to the end of the twist tie so the buyer can see them when they get the wreath, and they know just to untwist that to release the wreath from the box. So this wreath is ready to go. I'm going to put some bubble wrap over the top of it for security reasons. Again, in shipping, the better off you can package, the better off your wreath is going to be, and hopefully we'll get there in good shape. You can put tissue paper on the top of this too if you want to. I didn't in this case. Just a couple of layers of bubble wrap I think is going to be enough. Hard to find sometimes where you pull that bubble wrap apart, but it's dotted there somewhere along the way, and when you find it, you can pull it apart easily. It just tears right away, like that. Okay, now we are ready to close up the box, but one more thing, and that is I have a letter to the buyer. I have a little package of goodies for the buyer. It's a letter to the buyer thanking them. It's wreath care instructions. It's a purchase order. There are business cards in there. There's a card reminding them to please review. And I put that in a glassine envelope and then put it at the top so that that's the first thing the buyer sees, and they know how to get that wreath out of the box. The instructions are right there. So here we go. We are ready to close up. Okay, I have to remember where the top is and remember that I marked it so I would know, and I'm going to put the label over that. Usually it's useful to put something on top of that seam just to hold it down, and that's what I'm doing here. So here's the tape. You can use any kind of packaging tape that you like. I like to use shipping tape. And incidentally, I use shipping boxes, not moving boxes. I get them from a local source, but you can get them from Granger, Uline, Amazon. This is the most dangerous part of securing the box. I don't really like to do this, but this is multi-depth, and I have seen that my wreath is only 10 inches tall, so I don't have to have the full 12 inches that the box is, and therefore pay for an extra couple of inches all the way around. It really does make a difference. So I cut down the sides to 10 inch rather than the 12-inch box. You can also cut it down to 8, and I believe even further. I was ready to go ship this, and I forgot to tell you, you've got to tape those pipe cleaners on the bottom side so that when going through machinery, they don't snag on something and jerk loose. Therefore, your wreath would not be secure in the box anymore. Now we're going to put the fun stuff on. We're going to put some fragile labels all around so that hopefully, maybe, it'll get there safely. This box is going to a state where I typically have a problem, and I've only had a couple, but they've all been in that same state. Don't ask me why. I don't know why in that particular place. It seemed to be a little rougher. So I'll take a little extra care in putting this one together. So there we go. We have secured, ever so slowly, we have secured the pipe cleaners on the bottom. If you're using zip ties, do the same thing. You don't want anything snagging on the machinery. Okay, that box is ready to go. You can see I've got my tape on there, some little stickers thanking them and saying happiness inside, the fragile, and the shipping label. So I'm going to show you now some things that I used in boxing this wreath up. And of course, there's the awl, the reel, ice pick. The only thing I'm not showing here because it's just too big is the box itself.